on the platform formerly known as Twitter. Hashtag is in the know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. We are counting down to a big milestone. 1 week from today, we'll tell you about that. And we will give you your chance to win with the water cooler question, your chance to prove you're the smartest person around the water cooler. That and a whole lot more coming up today. You're on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire. Here's my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yesterday you missed out on getting to, so I showed off the Brady James K105
Yes.
onesie picture yesterday. What was your reaction to it when you saw it?
He's so sweet, but he's just so big.
He is. He seems like he's
such
6
a
months
big
old.
boy. Yes.
And he will be 2 months old a week from today.
Yes.
And so 2 months, he'll be 8 weeks old on Friday. But
Yes.
He seems to have already decided he's picked up his smile.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's good. It's always better to smile than frown.
Yes. Exactly. Yes.
All right.
And found his little tongue, it seems.
Are you looking forward to seeing him? Well, we were going to see him before Wednesday, but he's supposed to be at our event on Wednesday.
I cannot wait.
Okay.
It's like the royal show off.
That's
right?
true, yeah.
It is.
His mom is afraid that he's going to cry and make noise, that he can make whatever noise he wants.
That's exactly right.
We don't mind
We
a bit.
don't care.
That's just the way the show
Yes.
works. Over there in chair number 3, we say good morning and welcome back to Grayson County Extension Services Ag Agent, Miss Whitney Carmen. Morning.
Morning.
How you doing?
I'm glad to be here.
Have you seen our grandson?
I have.
They're
He's adorable.
Take an opportunity to brag. It's good to see you.
Yeah.
Farmers market today?
Yep, there are blackberries there today. That's the only one set up. I think the rain is kind of holding some folks off. I think there's some rain coming in, so which is needed. but
Lower
there are
temperature.
blackberries.
The humidity is still a little bit high.
Yeah.
Some relief. Well, I hate to spoil it in the weather because I'll tell you about that in a moment. But you all had a campus full of people yesterday for your
Yes.
resource fair?
Yes, they had a great event, and of course Natalie is part of that whole group that does that, and we were glad to host it. It's always a good day, a lot of community partners involved, and so we were glad that was able to be there.
All right, very good. So we're trying to work on our cameras this morning. We've had off and on. I think maybe mine is resolved, but I don't know that they're all resolved. But anyway, we'll work on that if you're viewing this morning, trying to get that all together. As I mentioned, it should be if she wants to try and log into hers. The forecast for today is going to be less humid. Well, maybe the same amount of humid, but less warm, which will give us the better feeling of conditions outside. We're going to see sunny, less humid conditions for tomorrow. We'll see thunderstorms today, a high of 86. Scattered thunderstorms tonight, a low of 67. Mostly sunny for tomorrow and a high of 86. And then the heat and humidity returns on Friday. And things will kind of continue to be, well, sticky and muggy and warm. So let's get to the other headlines of the day. The gag order has been lifted in the Trump hush money trial. The Judge Marchand just lifted that gag order earlier this week, and part of that decision is because it is likely to come up in the debate tomorrow. And so I don't know if they're handing Trump just enough rope to hang himself with, or whether this has anything to do with the debate or not. But you know that they will try, and they, being the moderators and being the Biden people, will obviously try and draw attention to the fact that he has spent much of the campaign season so far in a courtroom. I asked Sam yesterday if he was going to watch any of the debate, and he said he would rather do something fun like stare at the wall compared to that. So I guess I would ask, Whitney, are you going to spend any time on the debate tomorrow?
No, I'm going to be at a baseball game, so no.
Okay, so you'd rather kick dirt around too.
Yep.
Will you watch any of the debate tomorrow?
I know you think this answer, because the way you just looked at me, is an automatic no. How long does this last?
Oh, well, it could last an hour and a half.
I plan to walk by it a few times.
Yeah, I,
How
I
about
have a
that?
feeling it'll be on in the distance. I
Yes.
actually was thinking that you surely probably just wanted to see the entertainment value.
A little bit. Mm-hmm.
To
Yeah.
see what fly lands on
do.
who, and then
Yes.
what SNL. Well, SNL's, they're out of season currently, so we won't see any skits on Saturday. But nonetheless, that will be tomorrow. CBS is airing it, but it's hosted by it's being aired by CNN and others, but it's being aired on several different places. A Litchfield man is facing an indictment accusing him of strangling a woman multiple times and endangering the welfare of her small child. 25-year-old Matthew Breeden was indicted by a Grayson County grand jury on first-degree strangulation, endangering the welfare of a minor, fleeing or evading police, resisting arrest, and second-degree persistent felon. Breeden was recently arrested by the Grayson County Chief Deputy Sonny Petit and Clarkson on the strength of an indictment warrant. He remains lodged in the Grayson County Detention Center. It stems from an incident on Saturday, January 6, when law enforcement was dispatched about 11:30 p.m. to a violent domestic disturbance on North Patterson Street in Clarkson. They found a female victim, said Breeden had been staying with her, but that she had asked him to leave because she believed he was on drugs, according to the citation. Assault broke out, etc., and so he was arrested. The Grayson County Alliance announced that the organization received a significant grant from the Honorable Order of Kentucky Colonels. The grant, in the amount of $9,200, will be used to purchase and install a sidewalk safety railing for the walkway to a new Grayson County Alliance classroom. That's according to Colonel Childress. Grayson County Alliance, it's hard to believe, nearly a quarter century, 24 years that they've been serving Grayson County families. So good for them, continuing to be supported and get grant dollars. The Kentucky Housing Task Force, a new panel created by the General Assembly to find solutions to housing shortages, heard from several state officials yesterday about efforts to address the problem. Jimmy Higdon is a senator from Lebanon. He was among those who had questions for officials from the Kentucky Housing Corporation, the Kentucky Center for Statistics, and the state's Department of Housing. Wendy Smith, who is a deputy executive director of housing programs for the Frankfort-based Kentucky Housing Corporation, said it's vital for the housing supply in Kentucky to be a main focus instead of a niche or secondary housing issues. Smith said all 120 counties need housing, and if enough supply existed, the state would have lower average housing costs. We were just having a conversation on Monday about how much housing cost has changed in just a quarter century. I mean, it changed a lot in the last decade. The Louisville police chief has now resigned after being suspended. She was suspended earlier this month over mishandling a sexual harassment claim about an officer, has now resigned, according to Mayor Craig Greenberg. Jacqueline Gwen Villarreal, I think, became the third full-time Louisville police chief to resign or be fired since 20 officers fatally shot Breonna Taylor during a botched drug raid that year. Greenberg has named Paul Humphrey, who took over as acting chief after she was suspended on June 12 as interim chief, the fourth interim chief since 2020. Humphrey will have the full powers of police chief now that the Gwen Villarreal has stepped aside. So recent turmoil in recent weeks, but they've shot themselves in the foot several times over the last several years. I did see a footnote, and if this is correct, it says Mayor Greenberg said there would be no active search for a new full-time chief at this time.
Well, there's been 4 interims in 4 years.
4 interims in 4 years, and now the third chief to resign, third full-time chief to resign. I guess the statement sort of stands out to me as odd that there would be no active search for a new full-time chief at this time. You know, she became the interim, and then he applauded her on the job that she had done, in particularly with the bank shooting. She had, maneuvered that well and landed the job full-time, but obviously something happened subsequently to that. But I'm not sure what the move is there. If there's no active search currently, we're just gonna try and let the dust settle, or like what is I don't understand what the logic is on that. There may be a very good reason for that, but that's why it made me wonder. It's like, is that statement written correctly? I don't know. maybe
No telling.
maybe as the mayor, he's just planning on being the
I was gonna say.
maybe being more involved in the at the police chief level. Meeting one challenge of playing for the Kentucky Wildcats gave Mark Pope a blueprint for the taller task of coaching them after John Calipari. He has had he being Mark Pope, has had a chance to sit down with the media this week. And after taking a little bit of a break and a whirlwind, I guess we're still in the honeymoon phase, but we're at least a day or so into the honeymoon phase with Mark Pope at the helm. And of course, he's getting questions. What's it like to follow a legend, et cetera? And he's done a very good job and been very graceful in handling that. You know, he said that he's following a slew of legends. I mean, it's not just Cal, but when you look at Patino and Rupp and Hall and Smith and some of those others, it's not just one guy that you're following. It is, it's a who's who of names. But he said one of the things that you learn really early on, and I've had great mentors in this game, is that you just have to coach you. He said he has also talked with Calipari, and you know, Cal has even said more recently that Kentucky needs Mark Pope. Like, he had a good 15 years there, but now it's time for someone else. And I think we all agree. It would be easy to extend some grace in saying, well, this upcoming season, maybe we shouldn't expect so much, but Whitney, he doesn't seem to be shying away from the expectations that they should be of national significance immediately.
No, he is not. And I think that that's a testament of his attitude and his belief system and the way he does things. And I think he knows that's what fans really want to hear. I don't think he's shying away from that. However, I don't really know what my expectations are. Because while I want my coach to say, hey, yes, we're premier, we're going to not stop, we're going to be nationally accredited, we're going to be, at the top again this year.
The gold standard?
The gold standard. Let's try to stay away from that.
Oh, sorry. I don't think he owns that phrase.
He doesn't. But what I'm saying is I really still don't know what my expectations are, because we are 1 week or 2 weeks into practice as far as, our team. And who really knows? But I do like to see that he is positive, that he, is not going to back down from that.
Beyond him placating Big Blue Nation and saying, we're not going to take our foot off the gas.
He believes it.
Well, is he more importantly sending a message to his incoming players that says, we're not going to lower the standard just because we're all new?
Right.
The expectation is that you rise up to the level of which the jersey suggests that you should, rather than saying, well, we're all new together, so it's okay if we just, if we score a C on our test, it's fine. He's saying, no, I require A's. So my guess is it's important messaging for his staff, for the fan base, but also for the roster too.
Yeah. Well, and I think he knows too. Like, he doesn't... he knows this assignment, like he said. He is a former player, and there's already a heightened sense of, success. So, I really do think that he is rising to that occasion.
Yeah. Tonight is the first night of the NBA draft.
Reed.
I saw a piece, Jeff McDonald, I think is a beat writer down in San Antonio for a paper there, making a strong case for why the Spurs need Reed Shepherd, and if they don't get him, he thinks they should go for what's the kid from Tennessee, the Dalton Connect, who would be of a similar, not necessarily a similar playing style, but a similar positioned player. Where do you want to see Reed go?
I think they said they had the 4th and the 8th pick in the draft. I
think that's right.
Yeah, I mean, I want him in the top 5, but I also know how all that works. I mean, I'd love to see him go number 4, but who knows?
I think I've got more rooting interest in this pick on Reed than I've had in many.
Oh, me too.
Over 15 years, I've appreciated the number 1 picks or the high draft picks because they're good for Kentucky's branding. But with him being a Kentucky kid, being a little bit undersized.
I was going to say he's the underdog, and I think he is the I guess the base of what it is when you tell your kids you can be anything as long as you work hard and you do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Now he does have some God-given talent. Okay. But I do think that he's a great.
He comes from good stock. He even showed last night that he could throw a strike. He threw out the first pitch at the Yankees-Mets game, and his mama was the catcher.
Oh, what? Oh, well, hey.
Yes, it was neat to see last night as they're getting ready for the draft tonight. And as I've reminded you many times on the show, spelling is important.
So is punctuation.
Punctuation, very important. Spelling, and I must say, some of you younger generations are drifting further and further from spelling and punctuation. I would encourage you to perhaps do an about face. But even if you don't excel, then just don't get a job working for the highway department. A misspelled Pennsylvania highway sign directed drivers to Centerville.
Oh, okay.
It's supposed to indicate Central Philadelphia, but this is encouraging you to go to Centerville. It's one of those big green interstate signs that we've all seen.
And somebody didn't spell check that?
I would think.
That's a big
I'm
sign.
surprised it doesn't have a big red line underneath it. Hey, this is spelled wrong.
Wow.
We got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got more on the way. Hang around here on In the Know.
Comfort is everlasting. Comfort is a journey that sees no end. Every moment is a memory. Every encounter, a piece. Empathy may be our foundation, but comfort is the heart that continues the Rogers Funeral Home legacy. A steadfast tradition from our very first service to our most recent farewell, guided by Dave and Jordan Atwell.
Hello, friends. My name is Reagan Atwell. My parents take good care of me and my little sister. They'll do the same for your family.
Discover more online at rogerswatkins.com or experience the Rogers difference personally on Main Street in Clarkson.
Does the nagging pain of a sore knee, shoulder, or hip keep you from doing the things you love? Lose the pain and get back in the game with the help of Owensboro Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Located at Twin Lakes Medical Center, Dr. Isaac Miller and Dr. Ted Rogers are your local experts for hip, knee, and shoulder problems, from minor sprains to advanced procedures. Learn more and schedule online at owensborohealth.org/ortho.
If you're the average person, you only think about income taxes from January to April. But the choices you make 12 months a year have a big impact on your tax return preparation and even your refund. Making adjustments to your financial matters during tax filing season is like trying to lose weight during a routine doctor visit. The certified public accounting firm of Buckles, Travis & Hart work year-round to advise clients on important financial decisions so that during tax filing season, you're carrying a lot less stress and worry. Join the Peace of Mind team with Buckles, Travis & Hart, 270-259-5604. or GraysonCPAs.com.
Thinking about furthering your education? At Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, you'll get a high-quality education close to home at a cost that won't break the bank. Enjoy small class sizes with professors who take a personal interest in your success. Scholarships are still available, making our low tuition even more affordable. ECTC's Litchfield campus is now enrolling for classes that start August 19th. Visit elizabethtown.kctcs.edu to get started. ECTC, college for the real world.
Over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house to see a coaster that's new for the entire crew and they call it Good Gravy.
Good Gravy, the new family roller coaster at Holiday World and Splash and Safari. Twist and turn past a gigantic rolling pin, milk bottle, and more in a race to save Thanksgiving dinner. First forwards, then backwards. It's fun with a little gravy on top. Get tickets at holidayworld.com.
Free smoking! Free parking! Free sunscreen!
Homeowners, especially on the lake, have most likely experienced or will experience water erosion on their properties. There is a solution and preventative measures that can protect against this type of erosion. With the help of products and service from Scotty's Contracting and Stone, Crushed Rock Road enhancements can provide erosion control and shoreline protection. Well-designed and maintained erosion control helps ensure that today's beautiful and safe landscapes remain so tomorrow. To discuss erosion control and shoreline restoration solutions with Scotty's Contracting, call 270-259-5696.
Apple is reportedly choosing not to move forward with Meta in developing AI for its Apple Intelligence brand. According to Bloomberg, Apple is not going to integrate Meta's AI due to privacy concerns. The iPhone maker is already working with OpenAI and looking at possible partnerships with several other companies. After briefly passing Microsoft as the world's most valuable company, NVIDIA's shares have dropped 13%. The three-day slide knocked out some of the wind of the sales of other AI stocks as well. However, analysts believe there's still a significant upside to NVIDIA. Symphonic AI launching a trading and investing division. The software as a service company is going to use predictive artificial intelligence to analyze global financial markets. And there's another recall for Tesla's Cybertruck. A trim piece that runs along the trunk is falling off thanks to problems with the glue. This is the fourth recall issued for the Texas-built SUV. Also, there's a warning that a windshield wiper may stop working. Tech Report, Mark Mayfield, NBC.
Today is Beautician's Day.
Hey, shout out.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm getting ready to go see mine again. About that time.
A lot of hard work dealing with me.
Oh.
Coconut Day.
Love that too.
It's Forgiveness Day. And it is Chocolate Pudding Day. Did Jell-O ever find a new official spokesperson? I kind of like to nominate myself. You know, they clearly lost Cosby. So I'm thinking if they've not replaced him, then I can just get to be the Jell-O pudding person, the spokesperson that says, get yourself some Jell-O pudding.
Silas could be the Jell-O person because
Yeah.
he loves him some chocolate pudding.
He does?
Aw.
He ate some yesterday at the pool, and I mean, just flinging it.
Listen, it's hard to beat a good. It's hard to beat a good pudding cup. I mean, without a doubt.
Snack back. Yep.
We are 1 week away today from our special 3,000th episode, so we're looking forward to that. The countdown is on. Whitney, you looking forward to
Yeah,
it?
I am. I'm excited.
You think there might be some food involved in it?
I hope so. I can always eat.
Our friends at Steak and Stone are hosting us in that regard for that day. So it's a special 2-hour show a week from today, and we will kind of celebrate. We'll look back. You'll hear some familiar voices. You'll see some familiar faces, and I guess it's sort of we'll call it like a bonus hour. I was thinking earlier, do you get 2 did you knows? Do you get 2 points to ponder? I suppose you do, but we'll sort of go back to the beginning, the origins, how we got here, and why. And so I'm looking forward to that.
It's going to be a lot of fun, I think.
That'll also be the day that a lot of people will be traveling. The upcoming 4th of July holiday, the AAA is expecting 71 million people to travel over the 4th of July weekend. Well, which is the weekend? The weekend before, the weekend after? I have a feeling it's both. 70.9 million people will head 50 miles or more from home during the Independence Day holiday travel period. It's defined as the 9-day period from this Saturday, the 29th, to July 7th. This is the first year the travel period includes 2 weekends, so that answers our question. Okay. It's both weekends. Some people will be doing one versus the other. Some people will be doing both, and it will be a busy time. This year's projection is a 5% increase compared to the same period in 2023. Worst times to travel, July 2nd from 2 to 6 p.m., so that would be a week from yesterday. July 3rd between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. On the 4th of July from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., a lot of people are saying, well, we'll make it a long weekend, and the 4th of July is the first day, and we just celebrate the entire weekend with a long getaway. The best times, July 2nd after 7 p.m., July 3rd before noon, the 4th of July before noon, the 5th before 10, the 6th before 10, and the 7th before 11. So that's the best times. Do the Carmen family have anything big planned for the 4th of July weekend? Either of them? Well, this one you said is tomorrow you're going to be at a baseball game.
Yeah, we have a district for All-Stars, so we'll be in E-Town the next couple of days. But this weekend, we're actually free. But I do think we might go to the Rumble Over Rough, I don't know what they call it, the fireworks at the dam.
Sure.
We usually try to do that if we're available. And then the next weekend is my mama's birthday weekend. So she's celebrating a big one. So we're going to do something for her.
So you got to make sure you get America's birthday taken care of this weekend so you can celebrate her birthday
Well,
the
and
next
Jackson
weekend.
leaves for church camp on Saturday. So we're really going to be, we're down a kid. So.
Lighten your load by a third.
Yeah.
I like it. Take advantage of it. By the way, if you're headed out, don't forget, take a paper map. I know everybody thinks they're sharp because I've got GPS. Well, there are places where GPS doesn't work.
I still have a paper map.
Yeah, well, if you plan on being around mountains, canyons, dense woods, etc., don't rely upon cellular or GPS. Certainly don't make your life depend upon it. So it doesn't hurt to pick up a, and then you can practice folding it because that's perhaps one of the hardest things. I don't know why it took so long for this marriage made in heaven, but Cheez-Its and Hidden Valley Ranch crackers are coming later this month.
You know, I think I've known of people, or there's a Pinterest thing that may have started this because they had put their ranch seasoning and mixed it up like with their Cheez-Its.
And shaking it.
Yes.
The ultimate mashup is finally here. Cheez-It and Hidden Valley Ranch are finally coming together to create the snack of snacks. Cheez-It times Hidden Valley Ranch crackers. The crackers will drop in stores across the United States in July, but they say only for a limited time.
Well, have you seen the hot crackers too? So it's a little bit of a take on that. Have you ever had those?
I don't believe I have.
So you take saltines or oyster crackers, you know, and you take a Hidden Valley Ranch and you take oil and then you take hot pepper flakes if you like hot and spicy and you mix it in there and you bake it. And it's like a little, snack. So I would imagine that's probably what it tastes like minus the hot.
That's great.
I was raised in a Cheez-Its household. I don't
Yeah, we are too.
frequently have them now, but I like them. But I could see where this would be a nice little spin. Like, oh yeah, let's do the
I
ranch.
imagine it'll
version
be
of
in our
that.
snackle box when we go to
Of course,
Triscuit.
you gotta do it. A new study says, we've become more obviously aware about anxiety and suffering from anxiety. And a long time ago, we just called it was nerves, or we thought, oh, I'm feeling a little anxious. But I don't think even, a few years ago, we understand the severity that anxiety can play in our lives. A new study, though, says anxiety after the age 50 doubles the Parkinson's risk.
Oh, that's bad news for me.
A study from UCL has uncovered a significant link between anxiety and Parkinson's disease. People over 50 who develop anxiety face at least twice the risk of later being diagnosed with Parkinson's compared to those without anxiety. Researchers tracked Parkinson's features such as sleep problems, depression, tremor, and balance impairment from the point of anxiety diagnosis up to 1 year before a Parkinson's diagnosis. This approach helped them understand each group's risk of developing Parkinson's over time and identify potential risk factors.
Interesting.
In ways they're saying it can be considered an early warning sign. What I guess I would be curious to know is a person who has an slightly above average amount of anxiety or suffers from that, is if they have that in their 40s, is that also an indicator? Because there's something that said anxiety after 50. So if it suddenly comes out of nowhere, then it would
a precursor?
It seemed like it would be more pronounced, or there would be a link over just your
When you're normal, because if you've already had it, like that has been my life. So do I, am I more of a precursor for it, or is it something you develop after 50? That makes sense.
Your brain will benefit if you take a multivitamin. That's according to researchers who have found that a daily multivitamin improves memory and slows your brain's aging.
Yeah, good.
So that plus Prevagen and your 10-4, is that right? Is that what you're...
That's my next. When I see my physician, I am going to ask about Prevagen. It's over the counter now. Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
It's being advertised everywhere now. Not just what I call the old people shows that I like Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy, but it was, they were being advertised in the gymnastics Olympic trials earlier this month. They had some logo placement in that. A new survey asks Americans, do you remember your first car?
Yes,
absolutely.
We were talking about first cars over the weekend. Most people do. Nearly 9 in 10 Americans still remember their first car, and 60% of them wish they could go back in time to drive it again. A new poll reveals just how much people love their first automobile and how much they miss what they first drove. Baby boomers, 91%, Gen Xers, 89%, especially have a fondness for their first cars.
But is it the car itself or the memories that are made in that vehicle?
Oh, I would well, so I don't technically count my first car as my first car because I had it for such a very short period of time and it was a hard top. But something happened to it pretty quickly. So I got another one identical Z24, but it was convertible. So for me, it's both memories and the fact that it was a convertible.
Yeah, that's
You
awesome.
know? So
I had a truck, so.
Well, I think it's probably as much the nostalgia as anything because I went to school with young people who, with peers that inherited a family car. It was, and that was kind of like their badge of honor. They're having to drive the old beater that was handed down from the family. And I don't think their memories are any less fond or fun than anyone else's. They're just different. Dynamically they are different. So my guess is it has a whole lot to do with the nostalgia. But
Well, we have friends that had like, I can specifically remember a Geo Metro and an Astro van.
Absolutely.
And just, there's a lot of things that, just fun times that happened with those vehicles.
And anytime, my dad's Ford Ranger came into play.
I had a Ford Ranger.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. The
I called
ability
it the
to
Danger
drive.
Ranger.
Yes, there you go. Well, so my friend Brandy, she had this, we called it the Black Stallion. It was, I can't remember exactly what it was, but
sure.
we had, great times.
Yeah.
I do want to give you a little bit of a warning sign, Whitney. I think probably maybe you can be on the lookout for it. You do suddenly start to feel old when your peers start going back and acquiring the cars they drove as teenagers. So like
I know where mine's at.
You do?
Yes.
When my contemporaries started buying like 85 Mustangs and 86 Trans Ams, like, this is where we are in life now. We're buying these cars for the second time in our lives. Like, I think that probably spells some level of age. So when that starts happening, just be prepared. That's just the.
Well, we talk about going and finding my husband too, because he had a Ranger as well, but ours actually got sent to Mexico with some migrant workers. They bought it to drive back home, and
That's
so
great.
I think it's gone for good.
My dad found his Camaro and had it restored.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Happens.
Yeah.
People get nostalgic. Old cars are now younger than I ever thought they would be. We got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got today's water cooler question coming up. You're on In the Know.
For exciting summer fun, don't spend long hours in the car and a fortune on gas and travel. This summer, play close to home. Beach Bend Park, just minutes away in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Enjoy dozens of family rides, thrill rides, water slides, and more than 1 million gallons of water park fun in Splash Lagoon. Surf the waves, float the lazy river, splash and play on Tiki Island and our interactive attractions, or just relax in your own private cabana. Spend time on the rides, not standing in lines. Hop on the awesome Kentucky Rumbler Coaster for over a half mile of exciting twists and turns and enjoy classic rides, sure to please the whole family. Stay for daily shows, Gold Rush Golf, games, food and treats. Book the ultimate birthday party, group outing, or corporate event at Beach Bend. Check out our online calendar for Water Wednesdays and Friday Night Lights, featuring fireworks and special shows. At Beach Bend, parking and sunscreen are always free. So much fun, so close to home. Visit beachbend.com for discounts.
Beach Bend Park. Fun for the whole family. Beach Bend Park.
Your health is important to you, so when you find yourself face to face with sickness, your main concern is simply how to feel better. Well, rest assured, your feel better starts right here at Midway Pharmacy. It begins the moment you walk through our doors, where you're greeted by our friendly, knowledgeable staff, and continues on with special services like free delivery. So whether your goal is to maintain a healthy lifestyle or to overcome that untimely sickness, remember,
Your feel better starts here
at Midway Pharmacy.
Congratulations on graduating, class of 2024. It's not too late to file the 2024-25 FAFSA. And even better, there's help. Every Wednesday in June from 2 to 4 local time, there will be over 75 locations where you can receive assistance submitting your FAFSA. Don't let this school year sneak up on you. Get FAFSA help soon. For more information and a list of locations, visit KentuckyGoesToCollege.com. Brought to you by this station and Kentucky Broadcasters Association.
Do you know what red flags to look for when considering an investment opportunity? Fraudulent sellers might make unsolicited contact, tell you everyone is buying it, and pressure you to invest right now. They make hefty promises over the phone, but never put them in writing. At the Department of Financial Institutions, we have a saying. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. We're on a mission to educate Team Kentucky and protect your hard-earned dollars. Visit us online at kfi.ky.gov for more information.
I'm Deputy Eric Franklin with the Grayson County Sheriff's Department.
And I'm Officer Skaggs from Litchfield Police Department.
When working traffic in Grayson County, responding to crashes involving deaths or injuries is the toughest part of our job.
When you drive, there's so much out of your control.
But what you do have control over is wearing a seatbelt.
Less than 2 seconds, that's all the time it takes to buckle up.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws?
It's not about writing tickets, it's about saving lives.
Always. Buckle up.
A message from Team Kentucky and the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety.
Your adventure awaits at the Kentucky Horse Park. Experience live horse presentations, meet retired racing legends, and get up close to unique breeds from around the world. Dive into equine history at the park's International Museum of the Horse. And for a truly immersive experience, get in the saddle for a scenic horseback ride. With activities for every age, the Kentucky Horse Park promises an unforgettable journey for all. Plan your trip by visiting kyhorsepark.com. That's kyhorsepark.com.
K105 weather from the Wave Storm Tracking Team is brought to you by Smith Overhead Door, sohd.info.
Twin Lakes weather. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are still possible through the afternoon into this evening. Otherwise, we'll see a mix of sun and clouds with highs today, mainly in the 80s. Now, all our rain chances clear out overnight, leaving behind some beautiful weather, more sunshine, low humidity for your Thursday. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
The K105 105 Days of Summer. Brought to you by Future Designs on the Twin Lakes Best Mix. K105.
When your baby
Did you know
leaves you all alone,
people with higher incomes generally prefer their toilet paper to come over the roll, while those with lower incomes prefer it to go under?
I thought that was, there was patented, like there was a way to do it.
I hear that. I just...
There's only one way to do it.
Right, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. What does your income have to do with it?
Yeah.
Kinda
I've
what
had
I'm
varying
curious to know.
degrees of income, and mine's always been the same.
See, and the only reason I put it the
I wouldn't call myself
correct
high
way
income.
is because I know he's just going to have to flip it.
I'm going to do it
That's
anyway.
the only reason I do it.
Well,
Otherwise, I don't care if it's
But
up or down.
I would say higher income compared to what? Lower income compared to what?
I mean,
it's like
I don't know.
our incomes
What
here
does one
in
have to
this part
do?
of Kentucky are
Vastly different.
very small compared to like if you work in Manhattan, right? So
Right.
or you have a similar job in Nashville or in Manhattan or wherever. So compared to what? But it might be an indicator though of the household that you were raised in. Like that's I don't think I suddenly woke up one day and said, I am definitely an over-the-roll person. I've just always been an over-the-roll person.
Mm-hmm. I don't guess I've really ever cared that much. It's just what I do. Like, I don't even really give it much thought.
It had never, and I don't know
I
that
have
I've
too many
ever,
brains. I have different, I
And
have
so
too many
yeah.
more important things, too many important things to deal with than to waste brain cells on whether it needs to be over or
Until
under.
him and the conversations that we've had about this on this show, okay? Like, that's the only reason I pay any attention.
It's the first time I've ever seen income level linked to it in any
Yes.
way. But you are right about the patent. When it was designed, like when they made that's the way it was drawn. It was over, it was not under. And I think that's where a lot of people just dig in and say, oh, that's the way the inventor created it. The LAPD believes at least one person should be charged in Matthew Perry's death.
What?
The LAPD investigative source tells the media that its investigation into Matthew Perry's ketamine death is nearing its conclusion, and police believe at least one person, in quotes, at least one person, should be charged. The source says the U.S. Attorney's Office will make the ultimate decision on whether or not to press charges. His manner of death was ruled to be accidental. An autopsy report showed he died from acute effects of ketamine with other contributing factors, including drowning, coronary artery disease, and buprenorphine effects. I don't know. Buprenorphine effects, referencing a medication used to treat opioid use disorder, etc. I'd be curious to know who they think should be charged.
Who he got the ketamine from, I would imagine. Or whatever drugs it was, that the ketamine was in.
I would presume, but I don't know. I don't think is there something specific in this case that's different than your average person who sells someone drugs and they die? And I know that our penalties are becoming more strict, that especially in the fentanyl world, because it's so deadly that the traffickers and the sellers are being able to be held responsible for homicide charges, etc. But if they're singling this one out just because it's him, it strikes me as odd. My guess is they'd spend a lot of time prosecuting these if they investigated them fully, like they have in this case. We mentioned yesterday the latest in the Foo Fighters, well, more specifically, Dave Grohl's dig at Taylor Swift. So she's playing in London, they're playing in London, and Foo Fighters guitarist Pat Smear was at her show over the weekend and was living it up, doing a VIP thing. Then the Foo Fighters performed at London Stadium, and Grohl, just trying to be funny, probably, said, "We're the Errors Tour because we play live and we make plenty of errors." Well, we've learned, the Swifties will come for you.
Oh my gosh, get over it.
Is death by 10 million cuts
over Taylor any day of the week, okay?
Yes.
And if you know anybody, if you know him, you know he was probably just being silly.
He was trying to make a joke.
Get over it.
Yeah, he said we're going to rock out for like 3.5 hours or whatever. He's just being a rock star.
I want to go back to their concert.
You'd have to go to London, apparently.
I don't want to go to London to do it.
I don't know the specifics on the movie, but I did see there's a photograph circling the internet. Tom Hanks and Robin Wright are reunited, so Forrest and Jenny, for a new movie. It's not a Forrest Gump movie.
Oh. Well, I wouldn't want that remade anyway.
No, you got to leave it alone. And it's de-aged. They have, if you're watching, they have de-aged Tom Hanks and Robin Wright.
Huh.
So he kind of looks like he looked in Bosom Buddies.
Why didn't they just use his son?
Yeah. Well, who are they going to use in her case?
Well, that's true. But you know what I'm saying.
Really
why don't we-
interesting.
But I do think it's interesting to actually see him
looks like he is
de-aged.
in Turner and Hooch.
So I forgot to give you the water cooler question. If you've not won in the last 30 days and you're 18 years of age or older, you qualify to win. You're going to text your response to 270-259-6000, 270-259-6000. Up for grabs today, 2-day passes to the Litchfield Aquatic Center. 2-day passes to the Litchfield Aquatic Center. If you can be successful in solving the water cooler question, and it goes this way. Half of us think supermarkets and pharmacies should be open 24 hours a day, but nearly 20% of us think this business should too. Nearly 20% of us think this particular business should be open 24 hours a day. What is it? It's not supermarkets, not pharmacy. About half of us think that those should be, and some are. About 20% of us think this business should be open 24 hours a day.
I'm trying to think of what I've needed after hours.
If you ever need one in the middle of the night, you really need one. All right.
That has to be, yeah.
Ice Cube says the fourth Friday movie is moving forward.
Oh, goodness.
He says Warner Brothers
guys.
finally came to their senses. In an interview on Flavor Flav's podcast, the Boys in the Hood star said that a new installment of his hit comedy series is moving forward thanks to executive turnover at Warner Brothers. He said, but it's got to be done right or we shouldn't mess with it, is what he said.
it's
And
like,
I agree.
What is it going to be? Is it their kids? Is it them as adult, like old kid, old people? Like, I don't understand.
My guess is they still ain't got no job.
Nope. Nope.
Will they update the ATM? Will they get a new touchscreen ATM instead of the...
That's funny.
On Max, the things coming new to Max this July. Three Amigos. 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way Season 6. Is that new to you, or have you already seen that? No, it's not new to you. 4 Weddings and a Funeral, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, all of the Saw movies, The Sixth Sense, The Smurfs.
I would like to watch that again, I think.
so.
Hard Knocks off season with the New York Giants starts July 2nd.
We've been watching House of the Dragon.
Okay.
Then apparently Max is getting a start early on Shark Week because of, obviously Discovery shows up.
Mm-hmm.
But starting on the 8th, starting on the 7th, I think they're starting a bunch of shark content. So you can follow that for the next several days if you're interested in doing that. And let's see, The Three Amigos. It's a good, I don't know if I'd call it a classic, but it's a good old movie. What, Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, and Martin Short? Yeah, they're the Three Amigos. And Katy Perry is in France. She stepped out in Paris yesterday. The 39-year-old entertainer wore a gown with a huge train that has all the lyrics to her upcoming song Woman's World written on them.
That's really cool.
Her new single is coming out July 11th. She already shared a teaser of it that you probably heard last week that we played for you, but she is apparently unveiling the lyrics to her single. So if you're out strolling around Paris and you see her, just ask her to stop so you can read the train on her dress and you'll know all the lyrics. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got Point to Ponder, Chart Toppers, Pearl of Wisdom. Plus, we'll figure out who the water cooler question winner is. That and more coming up here on In the Know.
Ladies, if you need a girlfriend to talk to or spend time with, don't turn to your husband. That may sound like strange advice, but a lot of women try to get their husbands to step into a role that ought to be reserved only for female friends. And the trouble is, finding time to spend with a girlfriend can be tough when life gets busy. You may have a lot on your plate, children, a job, and other responsibilities at home or in your community. You may be squeezed for time, and at the end of a long week, spending time with a girlfriend can seem like, well, just one more thing to do. As a result, some women choose to stay home and expect their husband to fill the void. Now, your husband can be a good friend, don't get me wrong, but he won't make a very good girlfriend. It's just reality. Men aren't able to fill that role for their wives. We're guys, and we understand the world from a male point of view. Only another woman can understand what it's like to be a woman, a wife, a mom, and only she can bring those experiences into a relationship. A man can't fully appreciate the female world or relate to his wife on that level. It can be tough, but try to find creative ways to make time for your female friends. Don't try to change your husband into your best girlfriend. No matter how hard he tries, he'll never be able to relate to you in that important role. You need to be close to him for sure, but keep a healthy connection to some female friends as well. For Focus on the Family, I'm Jim Daly.
The words you are about to hear are taken from letters sent in by members of the Trinity Debt Management Program.
Dear Trinity, today I'm making my final credit card payment.
Before I came to you, I was in a constant state of anxiety and panic, but now there is hope for my family's financial future.
Working with Trinity made me understand that I'm not alone.
You really do help people.
Your kindness will never be forgotten. Without Trinity's support, I would not have achieved my lifelong goal of becoming debt-free.
We saved a lot on interest and penalties, of course, but the reward was the gift of human kindness.
Trinity has carried me through a very difficult time in my life. You're amazing.
I used to feel so anxious and hopeless. Now I feel grace and peace.
God bless Trinity as you continue to help others become debt-free.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
Do you know what red flags to look for when considering an investment opportunity? Fraudulent sellers might make unsolicited contact, tell you everyone is buying it, and pressure you to invest right now. They make hefty promises over the phone, but never put them in writing. At the Department of Financial Institutions, we have a saying. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. We're on a mission to educate Team Kentucky and protect your hard-earned dollars. Visit us online at kfi.ky.gov for more information.
I'm Deputy Eric Franklin with the Grayson County Sheriff's Department.
And I'm Officer Skaggs from Litchfield Police Department.
When working traffic in Grayson County, responding to crashes involving deaths or injuries is the toughest part of our job.
When you drive, there's so much out of your control.
But what you do have control over is wearing a seatbelt.
Less than 2 seconds. That's all the time it takes to buckle up.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws?
It's not about writing tickets. It's about saving lives.
Always buckle up.
A message from Team Kentucky and the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety.
Your adventure awaits at the Kentucky Horse Park. Experience live horse presentations, meet retired racing legends, and get up close to unique breeds from around the world. Dive into equine history at the park's International Museum of the Horse. And for a truly immersive experience, get in the saddle for a scenic horseback ride. With activities for every age, the Kentucky Horse Park promises an unforgettable journey for all. Plan your trip by visiting kyhorsepark.com. That's kyhorsepark.com.
Baby, 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 baby. I got the feeling, baby. I got the feeling.
MB's point to ponder for today. It's an interesting ponderance when you have an ag agent sitting with you. What is the worst smelling place you've ever been? What's the worst smelling place you've ever been? Now, some people might think some of the places you've been are smelly, but you don't really think of them as smelly because for farmers, that's the smell of money.
Right.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So what's the worst smelling place that you've ever been?
I don't know.
I do. At the vet clinic when a particular procedure was undergone on a beagle dog.
Oh.
Huh.
Okay.
That is absolutely the worst.
Now, I've been in some pretty nasty places. I guess I don't. They all smell terrible, but I don't necessarily think that.
That's just how they smell.
Yeah, I don't
Right.
know. I will say this, and there are some people that live around here that would probably agree with me, but there is a certain fertilizer that's put on, and it's not poultry litter, that gets put on some fields from time to time, and the stench from it is pretty rough for a couple of days.
Okay.
The Domtar paper mill, it smells terrible too. But if you know what it is,
right?
You know,
Yeah.
it's not a complaint. It's not the nastiest smell I've ever smelled. But
For you,
it's
it would
always-
be like a sauerkraut factory or something. Can you imagine?
Well,
you would die in there.
Yeah, you're pretty close to home on mine. So two things. One, so sometimes I have to stop by City of Litchfield Public Works, which means I'm at the transfer station.
Mm-hmm.
If you get over there near where they're they're unloading all that and it's being you can get into some bad over there real quick.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got to thinking about when I was a kid, the compost pile.
Oh, sure.
It smelled awful, and there's a similarity between the transfer station and the compost pile. In common, they have the rotting of things happening.
Okay, so I'm going to backtrack my statement. If anyone has ever found a milk cup that's been sitting in the hot, that's about a week old.
Oh, yes.
That might be it for me.
That will make. You're right.
Yeah.
Those are rough.
Alea leaves a drink cup of milk in the cup holder in the back of the vehicle, and you find it about a week later.
And second for me would be rumen fluid. Hence my job.
Huh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty nasty.
All right. The water cooler question was, More than half of us think supermarkets and pharmacies should be open 24 hours a day, and about 20% of us think that this business should be too. What did you think?
Hers is the best. I put down vet's office, but
Okay.
Mine was childcare facility.
Child care facility. Yeah. You got to get these kids in the
Well, or just in
3
case
a.m.
of an emergency,
Sure.
if you don't have someone, you know.
The correct answer was dentist.
Oh, yeah.
Dentist.
Oh, yeah.
4922. 4922 is the winner. Congratulations.
That's actually a
knew
good one.
That dentist. When you need one,
Yes,
you
you
need
do.
one.
Yeah,
right?
that's very true.
And why is it toothaches only happen at 1
At night?
a.m.? You know, toothaches don't happen at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, seemingly. Today's highlight, the NBA draft is on tonight. It's the big thing on TV. The highlight in history, this date in 1948, the Berlin airlift began in earnest after the Soviet Union cut off land and water routes to the isolated western sector of Berlin. Elvis performed his last concert this date in 1977 in Indianapolis. Chris Isaac is 68. Patti Smith from Scandal is 67. Some say Smythe. You do it however you like. Terry Nunn from Berlin is 63. Greg LeMond is 63. Sean Hayes is 54. Just Jack. Chris O'Donnell is 54. Nick Offerman is 54. Derek Jeter, the captain, 50.
Yep.
Gretchen Wilson, 51. Ryan Tedder, 45. Ariana Grande, or Grandy, is 31. And I failed to mention Aubrey Plaza is 40 today. Gone but not forgotten, Abner Doubleday was born in 1819, Pearl S. Buck in 1892, Colonel Tom Parker in 1909, Babe Diedrichson in 1911. In John Bon Jovi's documentary recently, he said early in their career, they and their manager met Colonel Tom Parker, who was, late in life, but he looked at him and he said, "How do you make any money when you got so many of their Bon Jovis?" He just had Elvis, so he got they only had to cut Elvis's money one way, Elvis's way. So they said, "How do you make money with all them their Bon Jovis?" Chart toppers: Elvis Presley, "Hard-Headed Woman," #1 in 58. Let's go to 1967. Scott McKenzie.
If you're going to San Francisco.
Definitely on the Forrest Gump soundtrack. Let's go to 1976. Wings, "Silly Love Songs," #1 in 76. All right, KSR is coming up for the Moose people in about 15 seconds or so. 1985, Phil Collins, Sue Studio. We're all still trying to figure out what Sue Studio is.
I have no idea.
It never became quite clear to me.
Some brothers put some, so I said, girls peeping me, I'm gonna glide and swerve.
I'm glad you.
This is the clean version, actually, believe it or not. But you never know.
You never know.
Whoa, be careful. You get busy, Sean Paul in 03. Payphone, Maroon 5 in 2012. And BTS, Butter, #1 3 years ago today. Whitney, we'll see you next week for the Big In the Know 3000.
Yep, I'm
Can't wait to
excited
see
for
you
it.
then. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today is, "He who knows enough is enough will always have enough. He who knows enough is enough will always have enough." MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Whitney Carmen, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in the Twin Lakes,